Mzansi, sanamukela la ku Dijo Le Bophelo on SABC2. This is your favorite show, ngoba it's the only show edila nge-food consciousness nama health issues. Every week sinimeme ukuthi nisibuze noma yini enifuna ukuyazi ngokudla. Bese ke thina sithola ongqondo bethu ukuthi baphendule imibuzo yenu. Namhlanje we are talking about allergies. Sechaba Sehloho posted a video on our Twitter page wanting to know more about this.
Dijo, I have questions that needs answers concerning allergies. Ne patlo botsa hore di teng dijo tse ding ka re nka di ja o re thuse di allergies tsa rona.
Sesahamba sohlangana no Sechaba to learn more about him before siphendule umbuzo wakhe. Ake sibone.
Lebitso la ka ke Sechaba Sehloho, na le 18, dula Thokoza, ka rata ho dlala bolo and ka rata ho hustle. Dula le moa ka nkgono wa ka, ntwana kenyane na lady, and I love them to bits. But we faced with one problem. We faced with a lot of allergies in our lives, and more family nyaka, re batlo tseba if allergy is genetic or not. Dijo Le Bophelo ne batlo tseba hore ke allergy, ke di causes tsa allergy, ke tse feng dijo tse re nka di ja or re prevent ntho tse tsona.
We are joined by Dr. Dijo Le Bophelo, who will be answering imibuzo ka Sechaba. Please join our conversation on Twitter at Dijo Le Bophelo or on Facebook Dijo Le Bophelo, or email me dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. We'll be right back after a short break. Guys, welcome back. Sisase sonke la ku Dijo Le Bophelo. Namhlanje sikhuluma ngokudla nama allergies. Our viewer Sechaba Sehloho has a few questions and concerns about that. Dr. Dijo Le Bophelo will be giving valuable answers to Sechaba's questions. I can sithole isnippet kancane ngoDr. wethu before we continue. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Even better that you're here. Before the break, we heard that Sechaba says his family has got problems with allergy. He has specific questions he posted on our Twitter page. We will be answering these questions with our expert today. You can have your say on Twitter at Dijo Le Bophelo or Facebook Dijo Le Bophelo, or email me dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. Doctor, shall we just enter this discussion? We hear people saying, hey, allergy, allergy.
Okay, what an allergy is a body's response to an insult. Right? Now that sounds, how can food ever be an insult to the body?
Yes.
But that's exactly what it is. For whatever reason, the body starts responding to food as if it's an insult, as if it's a pathogen, as if it's a bacteria that's trying to create harm within the body.
Like uyayisukela.
Yeah. So the body then responds in a way to stop the harm that it believes this thing is going to cause, which is food in this case that we're talking about.
Okay. So in our viewer's case, which his family has got allergies. Are allergies, are they? Can you pass them on? Are they transferable?
There's a school of thought that says they are genetic, but you know what else is passed within family? Eating habits, lifestyle habits.
Yeah.
You live in the same environment. So all these things are passed within the family, and often you will find if you remove one family member and you take them to another place, their allergies become a little bit better and manageable. So yes, there is a component simply because they live in the same, but it can be carried through to the genes. I'm hoping that's making sense, because if they are only genetic, then what chance do we have of ever treating them?
Yes.
So if we see all the different factors that comes into allergies, then we can look at what can we do about them.
I love this. Shall we hear his next question?
Yes.
My aunt gets swollen lips, mouth and tongue, and gets itchy after eating pizza. They say she suffers from allergy called Casein something.
It sounds like the aunt is suffering from what we call casein,
Casein.
allergy. So I've brought a couple of things so that we can see why his aunt is having this response. If you can bring me the very first tray.
So this very first one.
Yes. So she has a casein allergy. Casein is a protein, and this protein is found in milk.
Cow's
Casein
milk.
is a milk product. When we look at milk, yes, I like that, cow's milk. When we look at milk, when we look at the human milk, it has proteins, but not as much as cow's milk has. So there are 300 times more protein in cow's milk. Before we continue with the milk, let me give you an example. A human baby takes about 6 months to double its weight. Do you know how quickly a cow doubles its weight?
Of course.
47 days.
Yes.
Yes. So that's the difference. There's so much protein in cow's milk, and one of that protein is casein. Now, when we're born, we have an enzyme called renin, which is able to digest the casein. But what happens as we grow older? When we get to a certain age, we're supposed to stop eating and drinking milk,
Yes.
right? So your body stops producing renin. So then when you continue to take the milk, then you have this casein, which is a protein, and your body is not able to digest it. So then what happens to this undigested milk protein is if it gains access into your body, into your bloodstream, then your body looks at it and says, wait a minute, this is not supposed to be here. It's called an allergen. An allergen is something that makes your body say, alarm, alarm, we need to fight this.
Yes.
So then your body starts a response against that. So let's look at pizza. What's in pizza? The dough often is made with milk because that's what makes it nice and soft.
Yes.
The cheese is made from milk, and it's concentrated in proteins because remember that the water has been removed. So casein content is higher in cheese than it is actually in milk, and that's why she's responding so badly when she eats pizza.
So what should she do? Should she just avoid eating pizza?
Well, she doesn't have renin, so she cannot digest casein, so she needs to stop eating anything that has casein in it.
Right. Shall we move on to the next question?
Go na go tshwere ke di-allergy o tshwara ke di-allergy ma o change di-season and ne ke batla go botsa gore ke eng ntho wa ya tshwara ke di-allergy and ke eng ntho yang ka e ja dijo tse yang ka di ja gore ya prevented allergies tse or a di tshose ya nyane.
Change of season. Please explain that.
All right. So all allergic reactions are basically the same. So let me explain with the digestive system what happens, right? And then we'll move on to the hay fever. So when you eat the food, it comes in. If it's not digested, it should pass out. However, if it ends up in your bloodstream, it means it has passed the barrier. Am I making sense? So you have skin inside of your digestive tract, and its function is to stop anything that's not digested from passing through to the other side.
Yes.
If it passes and gets access into your blood, then your body has to do a response and fight against it.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at hay fever, you'll be thinking, well, it's not like grandmother ate a whole tree or a pollen, so what's happened?
Yeah.
So she breathes it in. What's inside the nose? The same membrane that's supposed to be protecting. But instead of it being tight and not allowing certain things to pass through, what people with allergies tend to have is a lining that is leaky, right?
Yeah.
And it allows these proteins into the blood, and therefore the body responds in an abnormal way.
Yes.
I mean, you see the people immediately afterwards, they're swollen and they've got runny nose because the nose is trying to get the things out.
Yeah.
So this is what happens with the change of season. Why change of season? Spring is coming and the flowers are starting to bloom and the pollen is going all around.
Yeah.
So this is what she gets in the air, and it gets into her system, breaches the mucus, the membrane, and then her body responds in this abnormal way. So when these allergens get into the body, they cause what we call an inflammation. Inflammation is your body's response to an insult, right? Inflammation. So how would you want to treat this? You would want something that is against the inflammation, right?
Anti-inflammatory.
Anti-inflammatory.
Yes.
You know this because when you go to your doctor, they would give you anti-inflammatories to help reduce the inflammation.
Yeah.
But they tend to have their own side effect. That's why we want to look at are there foods that are anti-inflammatory?
Yes.
And you bring one of my best foods ever that is always in my cupboard. I put it on all the food. I recommend it to everybody.
You love this.
Yes.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. A lot of people in their house, they have turmeric. All they know to do with it is to dye the rice yellow. Yes. But turmeric has anti-inflammatory properties, meaning when you eat it on a regular basis, that inflammation, that insult that is happening throughout your body, that's giving you sinus problems and headaches and you've got runny noses, it's going to stop. So for people who've got these allergic reactions because there is a problem already with the lining of their bodies, what then they need to do is just regularly just have this in their food. So when you have your salad, you just sprinkle some, you cook with it, you just add it in. That way you know you're having anti-inflammatory.
Doctor, I see here you brought something else, which I love. I love garlic.
Okay, a lot of people don't because of
smell.
what it smells like. But I mean, garlic is one of those amazing anti-inflammatory properties as well. It's got allicin in it, which is a compound that helps your body. You know, I like to say about garlic, it's a natural antibiotic in that it knows which germs to kill without damaging anything of your own.
Yes.
So what you do with garlic is you can have it whole. So you can take one clove almost as if it's a pill and you just swallow it whole.
Without, I don't have to chew it?
Without having to chew it. So you just peel it and you have it whole. Don't do this for children because you know how garlic can burn you on the inside of your mouth.
Yeah.
So the lining on their inside is not so ready for that.
At what age?
From under the age of 5.
Okay.
Otherwise, what you can do is just chop it up and put it in your food.
Yes.
You can cook with it. You can put it raw in your salad. This will kill the bacteria that are needed. It will strengthen your immune system. It's a natural antibiotic without killing what you need within your own body.
Incredible.
So bring another one.
Okay.
Because this is
exciting.
this is food as medicine.
Yes.
So now what we want to do is heal the lining because that's the problem. So let's open it up in there and see what we have there.
Wow.
Right. So you've got your oranges, so you've got your peppers, and you've got strawberry, different kind of berries. These give you vitamin C. Vitamin C has antioxidants. Literally, I like to think of them as going in to just clean and do repairs and take away those little bombs that are bombing your mucus layer.
Yes.
You know how some people tend to have ulcers in their mouth?
Yes.
And then you tell them that and their gums are not so well, we tell them to eat a lot of vitamin C.
Yes.
Vitamin C is important for keeping the skin on our inside in good and healthy condition.
This is fantastic. You know, I have my red pepper raw, so I cut it up and then I'd probably fill it with like a little bit of maybe Eve or something like that, and then I just snack on it.
Absolutely. You take your red, yellow, green pepper, they look beautiful. You put them in a salad with some kale and you eat, and you add some turmeric to it, you add some garlic. Tell me if anything will want to grow in you. Your mucus is being healed, the inflammation is just being taken down. This is how he can heal his family members. And let's bring the last one. Some people may not be happy with what I'm about to show them, but this is food that has healing properties. So let's open. It's one of my favorite personally because I know exactly what it does.
If it's your favorite, it's our favorite.
So cabbage, right? You know how cabbage has that strong smell to it? That's how you know it's for healing purposes. So it's cabbage, it's broccoli, it's onions as well. So they are also play a critical role in helping boost your immune system, in healing your mucosa layer. And here's the beautiful thing, without the necessary side effects.
Is she something or is she something? Fantastic. So we'll hear his next question.
Yes.
Ntate wa ka o tshwara ke allergy mahlakana le dusty le batla o botsa wa ntho e etsahala and ke tse feng dijo tse tlamela sa dije.
I've heard about this before. I've seen a lot of people after there's been a lot of dust, then I see them reacting allergically. Are they allergic to dust?
All right. So if you've been watching, you can understand what we've been talking about, that it's the same process.
Yes.
So in this regard, it's dust. But it's not just dust. It's different things that are in the air. Have you seen an orange when it goes off and it has that green spot over it? That's what we call mold. That's one of the most dangerous things that are flowing around in the air because the mold spores, you don't see them. I mean, I don't know if you've ever stepped into a shower and at the corner there's some mold on the ceilings in houses. So these are some of the things that are in the air and you breathe them in and they create problems within your own body because your body says, what is this? And it mounts a response, rightly so, because if mold gets into your lungs, it can grow and it can cause a fungal infection, which is very difficult to treat. So personally, I don't like curtains. I don't know about you.
Oh no, I'm a blind girl.
So am I.
See?
So what I love about blinds is that on a daily basis, you can just clean them up and dust them off. You can't do the same with curtains. Yeah. So if you wash them every 3 months, it's the dust that holds on. It's the mold that comes on. So it's all this pollen. It's the carpets that we have, the teddy bears we have on our beds, the pillowcases. All these things contribute before we start looking at what the foods are. But then let's look at the food that you can avoid because there are certain foods that also introduce these kind of things into our body. Not dust necessarily, but I'm talking about the molds and the yeast that gets introduced into our body. So let's have a look at them.
You have brought something which I know people are not going to be happy about. Beer, alcohol, some ciders.
Yes. So how do we make beer? We take perfectly good sorghum, right? And malt. And what do? We ferment it. So we add yeast, we add sugar. So now this yeast can come in. You know when people end up with what we call thrush, right?
Is that a yeast infection?
It's a yeast infection, yes. And then when you start then eating sugary products, and if it's a cider, cider has both yeast and sugar. So you're putting the yeast inside of yourself and you're adding the sugar with it too. So you're creating a problem for yourself. So that's one of the allergies, yeast infections.
So one of the things that people must try and avoid.
Yes. Apart from the fact that alcohol affects the immune system as well. Now a lot of people will be thinking, bread? What? What's wrong with bread? Yes. Right. Where do we start with bread? Now, understand, I'm not saying people should not eat bread. However, if you do tend to have allergies and also yeast infections, bread is made with what?
Yeast.
With yeast.
Yeah.
So one of the things about bread is don't eat, I'm going to be very unpopular.
Please be unpopular.
Don't eat bread when it's freshly baked.
No.
Yes, because the yeast is still active and alive.
But that's why it's nice. Butter in
It is. It's very delicious. I will not lie.
So that's why I think are you like the toast girl? Should you go for toast, right?
Yes, because if you toast your bread, what you essentially do is you kill the yeast. Because the yeast is supposed to be there while it's alive, and when you're making the bread, right? You add the yeast and you add some kind of starch, and the yeast is alive, and it's what allows the fermentation to happen so that the bread can rise.
I hear you.
Right? So now it's done its job. You need to kill it because otherwise you're introducing yeast into your own body. That's why people are bloated after eating bread. So that's one of the reasons. But now they're also adding a live yeast and they've got allergies, and if it makes way into their blood, they mount an immune response. So they have an allergic reaction because of that. And the other thing about bread is when it starts to become moldy, don't eat molded bread.
They still do. Other people maybe will cut around the mold or something like that.
Yes. Now, would you eat moldy bread?
No.
What about moldy orange?
No.
Never? Okay, bring the next food. I will show you that people delight in eating moldy stuff.
Well, you know, I'm going to stop you right there. People say the molder it becomes, the better it is.
Yes, that's talking about cheese.
Yes.
So what is cheese? Cheese is milk, cow's milk or animal milk that has been fermented, which is a fancy way of saying it has been allowed to rot a bit. And then after that, it's concentrated with casein. So remember, the aunt was reacting to the casein, which most of us cannot digest.
Yes.
And then to give cheese its wonderful flavor, bacteria and molds are added to it. You know how your cheese, the older it becomes in the fridge, the tastier it becomes?
That's what they say.
Exactly. But we said we wouldn't eat mold on bread, yet we delightfully buy mold on cheese.
So what do you say about cheese, Doc?
Cheese is wholly unfit for human consumption.
All cheeses?
All cheese.
Even the blue cheese?
Especially the blue cheese.
Why are you so horrible?
For your own health, Try it 10 days without any of these products and see what happens to your body. So for this particular person, avoidance of products that have yeast in them, that has mold, and especially mold intentionally added, is the best way to avoid the disease.
I'm not even going to ask you about cottage cheese. Okay, sorry. Doctor, what are the alternatives to cheese?
I know that some stores are starting to have a soy-based kind of cheese. And personally, for myself, I experiment a lot. So I can share with you some of my recipes on how to make your own cheese.
I love that.
That does not have any of the damaging products.
Because you are just so brilliant, that's what you are. Thank you so much, Doctor. We truly appreciate you.
It's a pleasure.
We will definitely be posting our doctor's recipes on our social media pages. Mhlawumbe you've also got your own recipe on how to make your own cheese. Come, tweet me at Dijo Le Bophelo or Facebook me, Dijo Le Bophelo, or email me, dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. This conversation is being posted for Sechaba to view and take our notes. You can also log on and watch it again on our SABC education page la on YouTube. After the breaks, buyela ku Sechaba to hear what he has learned from our discussion, not Dr. Mogapi. Stay tuned. Siyabuya khona manje. Welcome back. Usasenami la ku Dijo Le Bophelo on SABC2. When we met with Sechaba earlier on live showing, ebefuna ukwazi ukuthi angadila kanjani ngalama allergic reactions that his family has been struggling with. Uyawubona ingxoxo yami no Dr. Mogapi online. Ake sibuyele ku Sechabs and find out ukuthi ufundeni from our conversation with the expert.
I would like to thank the doctor about the information I got. Now I know that something is called the casein, and it's caused by animal milk. And now you should prevent it by drinking milk such as soy milk. We'd like to thank you for the solution that we found for hay fever for my grandmother. Now we know we should use turmeric, pepper, and oranges. Thank you.
Ayiphela kanjena ke ishow yethu namhlanje kodwa ningastress niyazi ukuthi ingxoxo iyaqhubeka ku social media mshaya nge-tweet uthi @Dijo Le Bophelo or on Facebook Dijo Le Bophelo or email me dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. ngizonibona khona manje da ku social media. Bakithi ningakhohlwa abantu ukuthi le show le yenzelwe nini ukuthi nikhululeke nisibuze zonke bonke mayelana nokudla. Ningangibamba ku email, social media or uvele uhambe eposini ungilahlele ngencwadi. Kwazi bani mhlawumbe incwadi yakho will be selected as the question of the week for next week's show. Khumbulani ngaphandle kwemibuzo yenu dololo iDijo Le Bophelo. Masihlanganeni la kwa SABC2 for more Dijo Le Bophelo next week, same place, same time. Ngizobe ngila kitchen, maybe ngipheke something angazi. Uzobe khona?